What's going on, everybody? FYB presents Wise Word Wednesdays, a quick live stream to help you get closer to accomplishing your dreams. I'm your host, Joe Spider, and I do represent the fresh. Give me 1 second while I post it, and I will be right back. Okay. Let me see. Oh, let me check to see if the audio is right. Give me 1 sec. Okay. All right. My bad. My apologies for the delay. Hopefully, y'all can hear me. We are going live right now on Facebook Live, on YouTube Live, on X Live, on Instagram Live. So I'm hoping you all can hear me clearly on Instagram Live because I was having some issues with the audio there. But yeah, man, we're here. I'm super excited. Thank you to each and every person who took time out of their day. I'm sure you probably hear my dog in the background. That's Simba doing his thing. But thank you for everybody who took time out of their day to join the Wise Word Wednesday show. I'm on StreamYard, so hopefully y'all can hear me right in the audio. Let me know if y'all can't hear me through IG Live. Let me know. Hopefully the sound is coming in correctly. Um, but Simba, can you take that over there? Over there. Jeez. Okay. So we got some interesting stuff to talk about today or tonight. I want to talk about Jonathan Majors. All right. Jonathan Majors. We're going to talk about um, the verdict, man, because there was some stuff. There was some stuff that happened, some stuff that he said, or some stuff that was done to him. Let me say that, and some stuff that he done as well too, that I think is important that we're going to talk about. So I know that there's a couple people who might have some opinions, and so for the first time, this is my first time using Instagram Live through StreamYard. So hopefully things will be fine. I'm still working out some technical difficulties and things like that. So I just ask that, you have some patience, you know what I mean, with me. And yeah, as I figure it all out. But I'm hoping you can hear me on Instagram Live. If you can't, let me know so that way I can, at least fix it. If you can't, but if you can, and if you have something that you want to say, or that you want to come up and join me, you can't join the live on Instagram Live because like I said, I'm doing it through StreamYard, but I can DM you the link. So if you leave a comment, I can DM you the link to be able to join me on StreamYard if you leave a comment in the IG Live. And to my folks that are watching through YouTube, normally how we keep it rolling, you can drop a comment on the YouTube or on the X or however you're watching on the Facebook Live, and then we can always drop that comment there. And if you want to join, let me know. Just instant message me on Facebook or whatever, or on YouTube, leave a comment, and I can go ahead and send you the link to be able to join. So if you're not familiar with what happened with Jonathan Majors, he was recently convicted on 2 charges in New York. And what I'm going to do is I have a video that I actually want to play to be able to hopefully show you, or let's give you a perspective on the charges that he had. So give me 1 second. I'm going to share this video really quickly with you. Let's see. Present. I'm going to share screen, and I'm going to share. Let me go with that. Okay, so I've got a video here that I'm hoping you can check out and that you can let me know your perspective, but it's a little bit of time, but I hope that you got it to be able just to give you perspective. So here we go. This was on, what was this on? This was on Twitch, not Twitch, but TikTok. Geez, so many of these different stuff going on. But okay, so this was on TikTok. So let's see if we can play it here, if it decides to play. Here we go.
By the jury on 2 of the 4 counts. Let's go through each charge and I'll tell you why they found him guilty or not in each one. Also, shout out to Danny Does Law on Twitter, X. She's been keeping us up to date with everything in the court. She was in there for everything, and she's done an amazing job. On the first charge, assault in the 3rd degree with intent to cause physical injury, not guilty. This charge, I think, was mostly referencing to the fact that she said she got punched in the back of the ear. He heard her hit him. Now we go to one of the major problems that I think are in this case, which is the jury. And I told you a few videos ago, and I mentioned in every video, there was one jury member for sure that is causing problems, because everybody has to say not guilty for it to be not guilty. I ended up being right. And this number 1 juror was the 4th person actually who spoke for all the jury and said the words guilty before they could even finish reading out the 2nd charge. Couldn't wait to say guilty. Just so excited to give him the guilty on the one that is going to take him down. Then she giggled when she had to repeat herself because he didn't finish reading the charge yet. Dude, can you just wait till I'm finished? What do you think that little giggle laugh means, huh? She said guilty. Oh, I'm sorry. Guilty. She was so excited to say guilty, she could not hold it. That's disgusting to me. After everything you saw, you still wanted to take him down because he was a successful Black man and she was a poor woman crying on the stand. This one, I did not expect it, because this charge in its definition explains this. It occurs when someone inflicts physical injury, a bodily impairment, or substantial pain on another person. Because Grace aggressively took his phone away from him, we know that Jonathan, the facts of the case are, got his phone back. So the question is, how did he get his phone back? He had to pry it out of her hands. So basically, they're agreeing that he caused her this finger injury. She didn't just hand it to him. So what this is telling you is if your girlfriend ever snatches your phone, just ask for it politely back and tell her, please, I would prefer if you hand it to me. I do not want to take it from you, even though it's my property, and commit third-degree assault by grabbing my stuff back. It's like saying someone took your wallet and you physically forced it back from them, took it from them after they tried to take your wallet, and you get arrested for it. It's ridiculous. It doesn't matter that you weren't the aggressor. It doesn't matter that she scratched your arm and scratched your face, and we got pictures to prove that she assaulted you. It doesn't matter that you avoided escalation, you ran away. It doesn't matter that she chased you down a block like this is a horror movie and you're one of her victims. The jury also seemed to forget that the person that she was with all night did not notice any injuries and was holding her hand and was hugging her. And she was grabbing tequila shots and she was signing receipts with Jonathan Major's credit cards. And she probably hired her lawyers off this American Express card with Jonathan's name on it. Okay, I made that last part up. So regardless of that, you believe that he caused her this finger fracture, which could have been done if she punched the wall, if she gripped something wrong, if she, slammed her hand in a car door. It could have been anything. On the next charge, aggravated assault in the second degree, not guilty. We know that he didn't intentionally do that. And then harassment in the second degree, guilty. We knew this one would be guilty from the beginning. We've said it for a couple videos because the fact of the matter is he put her back into the car when she was trying to aggressively come out to him. If he just hopped out the car and immediately started running like he stole something, none of this would have happened. He wouldn't have got this charge. And it's sad that you cannot consider that Grace being the aggressor over and over again, chasing him down for blocks and everything, calling him, texting him, wanting him back. It's clear as day, even attempting to offer yourself to convince him to come over to see you. If he would believe that he caused any type of pain, assault, or any type of fight insinuated where he hurt her, why would he call the police on himself? He did not expect to get arrested. Even when they got here, he told the cops, we had a fight last night. She was angry with me. She caught me cheating. She sent me these messages. She's going to do something to herself. So why would he do all this? Why would he say all this? If he thought there was a chance of him getting arrested, he didn't think there was a chance because he didn't think he hurt her, because he didn't put his hands on her. He just got his property back. That's it. Even after the cops charged her with assault, the DA dropped the charges. It gave her immunity if you came back to the States to testify against him. Because why? The DA doesn't want her, some girl from London who doesn't even live here. You know who she wants on her resume? I took down a successful Black actor, one of the biggest in Hollywood. Now she could look all tough. Even celebrities don't get any leeway. But you made this case 10 times bigger than it would be for any average person anyway. Nobody would probably even get arrested for this. You snatched your phone back, that's it. This still looks good for Jonathan in the eyes of Disney because realistically.
Okay. Yeah, let me stop sharing there. Okay. So a lot was said. A lot was said. So what are your thoughts on the matter? Jonathan Majors guilty of the third-degree assault, which was again, as the video explained, which was him retaliating, not necessarily retaliating in that sense, but of him, I got to use my words carefully, especially this is being recorded live. I'm not a perfect human being. I'm gonna try to explain myself, articulate myself the best way possible. But again, I'm not an attorney. So forgive me if I don't have the right verbiage to be able to explain it in the perfect way. But Jonathan Majors was convicted of third-degree assault because he, in the process of him retaining his phone, which was aggressively taken out of his possession in the first place, he then injured her throughout that process, which led to, I don't know, I guess they're saying like maybe the finger injury, maybe, I don't know, but it led to her, which ultimately led to his conviction. So that's the first one. We can talk about that in a second. I'll put a pin in that. The other one, as mentioned in the video, is of him putting her back into the vehicle when she tried to get out. So she tries to get out the first time, he puts her back in. She tries to get out again a second time, he puts her back in, and then came back out And I see my man JD said, yeah, he hurt her finger and then him putting her back in the car. Exactly. Exactly. So those are the two things that got him those charges, which ultimately led to his which led to his conviction. Okay. The reason why I'm super frustrated with his conviction and with the whole trial in the first place, it's not that he is an innocent person of any wrongdoing. Okay. I don't want to paint this false narrative like I'm saying Jonathan Major is innocent of any wrongdoing. Jonathan Major, I'm not trying to be like a character witness. I'm not trying to pretend like as if me and Jonathan Majors go back, or I'm not even just trying to stick up for him because he's a black man. That's not what I'm trying to do. That's not what I'm doing. I think my purpose in giving a response to the video and to the conviction of Jonathan Majors is really just me being extremely frustrated with the way this entire trial was handled. I think it's important to point out the fact that immediately when the conviction came down, I started trying to do a little bit of digging. I didn't do like an intense investigative research or nothing like that. I just did a little bit of digging. I watched a couple of different people. Some people that I watched on it was the real Nathan Daly. He's a former officer, and he goes and breaks down cases on YouTube. And then I also watched the Roland Martin Unfiltered, which is another prominent I think he's arguably the largest black news media outlet, black-owned news media outlet. And so I got some information from there because on Roland Martin's Unfiltered, he had a couple of different people on there as well too to talk about and break down the case. So my frustration in this, okay, is, and if you've been following some of the stuff that I've done in the most recent weeks, and just in regards to following me and anything that I think, at least that I've been posting online recently, is that there seems to be this ideology in regards to the male species, the male gender, okay? And it seems to be very different than the way that we treat, handle, talk about the female species, right? The female gender. Or should I say the female sex to be politically correct? I don't know. Again, I'm going off the top of the head right now. So this is not like even though I knew what I wanted to talk about in regards to Jonathan Majors, I did not have any of this. I ain't got no notes. I'm just doing straight off the top of the dome here. So I think male is sex. I'm not trying to be canceled. So the frustration here is that when we look at what happened, okay, they were in a vehicle, okay, there's a witness inside the vehicle who said, yo, she was the aggressor, okay. She also said that she was the aggressor by taking his phone, okay. He said she was the aggressor by taking his phone. So that's three people that admitted that she was the aggressor by taking his phone. He grabbed his phone back, got out of the vehicle. She attempted to follow him out the vehicle. He put her back inside the vehicle. She attempted to follow him again. He put her back inside the vehicle, and then she holds on to him as he tries to leave from the vehicle. He leaves from the vehicle. He shakes his arm off of her and runs away. My frustration is that I am a feminist, which means that I think that women should have equal rights as men. That's what I believe. I believe that women and men should have equal rights. I don't think that men should have rights that women don't have, and I don't think that women should have rights that men don't have. Okay? But how is it that this man, given the circumstances, how is it that this man is convicted of 2 different accounts? However, the aggressor that started the entire scenario goes home scot-free. That is mind-boggling to me. That is the part that I'm like, what? That's the part where I'm like, how? Right? How is that even possible? How is that okay? How is that like the right thing to do? I don't get that. I don't understand it. I need people to help me understand that because I don't like it. I don't get it. And how is that equal? That's the part where I'm confused. Like how is that equality? Because here's what I know for a fact. I know for a fact if the roles were reversed, okay? Again, the fake scenario. If the roles were reversed and Jonathan Majors had reached into her, snatched her cell phone from her, right? She violently took it back. And when she tried to leave the vehicle, he tries to go with her. She pushes him. He tries to go with her again. She pushes him. And then he grabs on her and leaves. And this is all on camera. And we have an eyewitness. And if she yanked away from him and ran down the block, okay, ran down the blocks and blocks, and he followed her, it would not be a question. It would be, you are going to jail. You feel me? It's a guarantee you're going to jail. I'm not really speculating on what happened after the incident from the car in regards to like after the chase. That to me, none of that is important anymore, other than the fact that he chose to stay at a hotel. She went back to his place. Well, not went back to his place. This was after she went out clubbing and spending his money using his credit card, which again, how is she not charged with using his credit card? Like, I don't know, bro. Like, it's crazy because on one hand, it's like we talk about this whole like we need equality, right? We talk about treat people, the same. We talk about like how other people should not discriminate against people based on their gender, but this is a clear case of discrimination, of gender discrimination. I can't say that it's racial. I'm not going to pretend like there isn't a racial component to it. I'm not going to pretend like there isn't, because there just is. I know there is. I'm sure there is. But I'm just saying I'm not super familiar. Like, I'm not going to, of course I'm super familiar with the racial component, but I'm just saying I don't think it's relevant. Let me say that. I'm not going to pretend like I'm not familiar with it, because I'm very, very familiar with it. I'm just saying that it's not relevant as much as the gender component in this case. Okay? Because I don't care about the race, because we know that even if the situation was reversed, if it was a white man and a black girl, he still would have probably went to jail. You know what I'm saying? Or probably been charged and convicted. All right. But my problem is that if the roles were reversed, if it was a woman being chased by a man, it's, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a clear open and shut case. My issue is, how is it that the aggressor in the entire scenario does not face any charges? how does the person that caused the entire thing, the person who chased a person down the street, the person who physically assaulted someone, the person who used their credit card to buy drinks, I think again, I'm not sure. I believe the rumor is that she spent a couple of thousands of dollars worth of his money. You know what I'm saying? On this. And I see that my boy Reezy just popped in. So I'm gonna go ahead and bring him up for a minute. This is one of my bros from college. We go way, way back in the day. So I'm gonna bring you in. What's going on, Brody?
My boy, what's going on with you?
How you doing?
Doing good, man. To get all this setup stuff going, man. Sometimes it take a little minute.
Hey, you looking good, brother. You looking good. I appreciate you for joining, man.
Appreciate you too, man. Go ahead, man. You want to get into your spill? I'm gonna let you keep going on, leading off you.
So my issue is just, how is it that this person can do so many offensive things that are clearly offensive, right? Things that are clearly clearly against the law in so many different ways and face no charges. But the person who was who wasn't the aggressor, a person who was more of the tried to like dispel everything, right? The person who was not the aggressor, they was more like listen, I'm trying to calm everything down. I'm trying to just get away. I'm trying to relieve myself of this situation. That's the person who ends up getting the charge. And because he was convicted of those things, it cost him millions. I mean, it cost him movie deals. It cost him sponsorship deal. I mean, it cost him a ton, right? So I don't understand it. Well, of course, again, I do understand it because I understand the gender discrimination that's happening right now. The gender discrimination that's happening specifically within this. But let me get my boy Reezy in here. Reezy, what I don't know, are you familiar with the case at all?
Yeah, I'm familiar with most of it. There's still some things I needed to get some clarification on. That's why I was letting you go ahead and do your thing so I can come in and add to it. What I just noticed, what we all know right now, is that the video was crazy. And the video was definitely crazy. So it's like, all right, well, yeah, man, like you said, he costed himself millions. I'm kind of surprised it took this long. I guess that's just how it goes with, the law and everything like that, and just the whole process. But I kind of got unserious takes on it right now. I'm not even gonna lie to you, because I seen it coming a long mile away. I was telling my boys, I'm like, yeah, he's done. He's out of there. Marvel's pulling him. They're not gonna go forward with him at all. Like, it's an unfortunate situation. You do want, in these situations, you do want to see, especially, not to make it a race thing, but you want to see the black men not be convicted of such acts and not have to go forward with that. But yeah, man, I don't know what he's gonna do now, though. I don't know what's going on now. It ain't really much you can do. I guess the real question is what Meagan Good finna do, man. I don't know. Because she right with me.
Look, it's crazy, right? I feel you. And my boy JD said they were calling her the victim from the beginning, so the narrative was set. Like, and again, one of the frustrating parts with me was that they didn't allow this court hearing to be publicized, right? That was one of the issues.
Right.
Like Johnny Depp, right? Like, we got to see everything. You know what I mean? You got to see all the testimonials. You got to see everything. And that was kind of one of my issues with the Tory Lanez Meg Thee Stallion case, right? Like, we didn't get to see everything because we don't really know. And now, I'm going to assume that there was more than enough evidence to convict him because he got convicted. You know what I mean? So I'm not going to argue that. Just like with this case, right? The things that he was convicted of, I understand it because I understand what the law in that sense, and I understand how they broke it down. So I understand why he was convicted of those things, which, again, technically, I'm not even arguing his conviction. I guess my point is, why wasn't the aggressor of all of this charged and convicted as well? It's like, no, we want to go with the higher name as opposed to the person who initiated all of these different things, which is like, that's cold in my opinion. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but that's kind of like the problem with that type of stuff now is that it's not being looked at from both the aspects. It's more so just looked at as the perceived aggressor or the man in the situation. You don't really get to see it flipped both ways, or for both parties to be accounted for, unless it's clear and obvious that the other party was an aggressor and was, saying we never kind of look at. It's always in the behind the scenes conversation where it's kind of like, oh well, what you do, or like, well, what happened right there? It's kind of. That's kind of how it goes, most times you're gonna bite the person, especially, the man, he gonna bite the bullet on that. So
exactly.
He's gonna bite the bullet on that almost 99% of the time, unless it's like clear and obvious, like, okay, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And that exactly speaks to my point in regards to the gender discrimination that's happening, within the justice system. There's a guy that I follow on YouTube, or that I watch on YouTube, again, real Nathan Daly, and he's a former police officer, and he talks about all the different times that, well, not all, but a lot of the different times where he's gone into different domestic violence cases, and women have used the tears to be able to get a person convicted, even though they were the female was the aggressor in this case. And so what I posted on Instagram the other day, I think it was yesterday when the verdict came out, I said, this is another example of how the system is set up specifically against men. Now, the other part is that I put on there is that men, you have to be careful of the company that you keep, because you are going to be held responsible for the actions of those that you keep. Sometimes it's not even you that does anything. It's the person that you're kicking it with. And, Reese, notice when we was in Chico, we had a circle of people that we pretty much linked with, you know what I'm saying? On a consistent basis. It wasn't like 50, 60, 100 people. It was like a very tight-knit group of people. Now, there were people that came in and out throughout the years, for sure. That's just the way to go. But in regards to, from the totality of it, right, we had, as far as the consistency, it was a very small group of people that kicked it, because we understood that I cannot associate first off, we was them boys. Let's just be real. Let's just keep it 100. All right.
Yeah, we was doing our thing.
We was them boys. Okay. And because we was them boys, we was in college, you feel me? It was a little different, and everybody didn't have the, I don't know. What's the word I'm looking for, Reezy? Help me out, big dog. Help me out. What's the
damn.
They didn't have a juice. You feel me?
Everybody had a juice. Hey, that's a good one. They had a juice, man. They had that spark
to be able to kick it with us in that sense. But aside from that, I think that we all subconsciously also understood. I mean, obviously, with a lot of us in there being athletes, right? Like a lot of us, you know what I'm saying, having things to lose, right? Like, and a lot of us being from certain backgrounds and certain neighborhoods, certain areas.
I wanted to trick it off because we
was like, look, bro, this is my chance to get out, right? Like, so we didn't want to risk, you know what I'm saying, connecting with or associating with certain people that could potentially allow us to lose the opportunity that we had in front of us, because we knew the amount of change that we could make with said opportunity. So this is why I think it's important for men, is that you have to be careful who you associate with. I mean, a lot of people, even relationships, guys, like even your partner, right? Like, I don't know. I can't speak for you, Reezy, but I'm just speak for myself. I've been in a toxic relationship before.
I actually have some personal experiences I don't mind getting into about that.
Let's talk about it.
Yeah, so we could definitely talk about that. Your boy had been through some things. You know what I'm saying? So we could definitely get into that. I don't mind.
No doubt. Okay, we're gonna talk about it. Because I know that in that toxic relationship, or those toxic relationships, right, there were times where I was physically and verbally assaulted, right? There were times where I was physically and verbally abused. And so what I had to realize, and it took me a long time to figure this out, right? I had to, it got to a point where things got so bad that I said, I have to leave this relationship because I'm a killer. or she gonna get me arrested, or something is about to happen. So I have to leave because it's only getting worse. You know what I'm saying?
No, I definitely get you on that. So like, myself, I had the unfortunate thing of getting into two relationships damn near almost back to back, and they both were super toxic, So I had that happen on two separate occasions for the most part, and I would tell my boys about it. I would tell, I tell the homies, I would eventually, because we go through a lot of stuff, but then we wait until like it's really at a head before we decide to really speak on it. So, I finally started letting stuff go instantly. Hey, it's not gonna get better. You need to leave right now. It's not gonna get better. But we in it. I tell people, hey, once you in it, it's different because you can always say, hey, we know better. We think we know better. It wouldn't be me though. But it'd be you. It wind up being you. So, you in the moment you telling them, I'm like, well, you're looking at all the positive things, like y'all wind up reconciling or whatever, but it's always toxic. But as far as like the Jonathan Majors thing and an aggressor thing, like you said, I've been verbally and attacked, physically attacked. You feel me? When you're trying to be level headed, you're not really, you're not reacting, but there's only so much somebody can take. Like myself personally, I ain't never slapped no girl. I ain't never socked no girl. But I'm not afraid to say, hey, I had to shove the shit out of a girl before to get her up off me. So it's like you just never know where that could lead, because as you said before, it's gonna get worse. You're gonna kill her. You're gonna want to do something to where it's like you're gonna react. You're gonna find yourselves in moments where it's like, damn, this what we really doing?
Right.
I found myself where I'm tussling with the girl, like I'm getting around, be wrestling. I start laughing. She think I'm crazy, but I'm laughing because I'm like, bro, look at what we doing, bro. Like you don't see this, but that easily could turn into jail time. That can easily turn into family drama. That could easily turn into so much, so much BS. And like you said, if it ain't like, like we were talking about earlier, if it's not like clear that it's not on the man or whatever, like we're not gonna know. I've been in a situation where the woman got taken. Somebody called that I heard called. They came by, they separated us, they did their thing. They was trying to ask their questions. I don't know if they could just tell or what, like, but they took her in. I'm like, hey, they not playing, like, you know what I'm saying? But that's a situation where they took me, but that could have easily been me. I worked with kids. I was working with kids at the time. Imagine if that was me, I lose my job, lose my livelihood. You know what I'm saying? You lose everything. So similar to what this guy is going through. So it's like you risk so much, like you said, by the company you keep, the people we choose to keep around us, the people we choose to put our love and trust into, and despite the things that's going on. So yeah, man, it gets super tricky, bro, for sure.
It's sad, man, because there are a lot of people, like, again, similar to how you were saying, like, you would talk to the homies, like when I would talk to friends, right, about what was happening, oftentimes it was funny. Like to, what I mean? Like to talk to people, like when you be talking, you be like, yo, man, she crazy, bro. She be, you feel me, just going off on, you know what I mean? Like just tripping and bro, man, yeah, bro. Like I had to, you know what I'm saying, push her out the way because she was like slapping on me and stuff. I had to move her, like, man, watch out. You know what I'm saying?
Those get mad, all type of stuff.
Exactly, like, man, she get mad. And it's like, again, I think that we're so used to the abuse that men receive that we're just told to you have to deal with it. You know what I'm saying? You just got to put up with it. I want to acknowledge a comment. Someone said, I'm surprised, but I also feel he as a black man should have known better. Black women tussle, fight back, white women call the cops. I think it's okay, so here's the thing about that, right? That's actually not true.
Now, I agree with you. I agree with you on it not being true, but go ahead.
It's actually not true because Stevie said no one should be fighting at all. I agree wholeheartedly. Nobody should be fighting. Keep your hands to yourself, right? But in regards to the reason I'm saying it's not true is because the research shows is that there's actually a lot of Black men that are in jail because Black women have called the police on them and lied. Not just called the police on them, but also lied on them. I remember, again, going back to the Nathan Daly, he talks about how when he was a police officer, again, investigating a domestic violence dispute that was at a preschool. Went to the preschool, talked to her. Stevie Wonder said, I need to see those stats. No problem. We can look, we can find it for you. When he goes there to check out the domestic violence case, he actually goes in and asks what happened, this and that, right? The girl's like, hell, he came in, he hit me, and right? And he's like, all right, cool. So he goes, the dude gets arrested, goes to jail. Here's what happened. Her colleague looked at the tape from the preschool that showed her being abusive to him. And so her colleague took it to the police, and that's how he was let off and she was arrested. Now, just imagine what that process would have been like for him had that colleague, first off, had the film not existed. And then even if it existed, had the colleague not watched it and then had the decency to go and file it as evidence. You know what I'm saying? There are a lot of people out here, especially, and again, even if I don't go into the actual statistical data, right? Because we know that 85% of married Black men are married to Black women, right? So just numbers alone, right? There's only 15% of people that are Black men that are married that are not married to Black women, okay? So just the numbers game alone, we know that it is statistically almost impossible, right, for there to be more white women calling the police than Black women, in just based on marriage statistics alone. But again, we can go further into that. But my whole point is that there are a lot of men who suffer from things, from domestic violence, but are not allowed to be able to report these things, because even when they do, ask police, talk to police, any police officer that you know, even when men do call the police, in this case, like Jonathan Majors did, they are always still seen as the perpetrator. Even in the case, and this being another example, right? Even if we go again, I don't think that racial is as much of a component as we think. I think it's a component. I'm not going to lie, obviously, right? Like we know there's a racial component to it, but it's not the only, because again, going back to the Amber Heard Johnny Depp trial, right? That whole situation where Amber Heard went and said, he abused me, he's an abuser. Johnny Depp lost hundreds of millions, not millions, hundreds of millions, because that we know that Pirates of the Caribbean deal and contracts, those movies were going to keep racking in a lot of money, right? So he lost that and other deals, other sponsorships. And she went on this 2-year run where she was talking about, I'm a survivor of domestic violence and this and that and the other, and wrote an op-ed, right? And accused him. It wasn't until we looked at the trial and saw that, she was the aggressor. She was the abuse. Now, not to say that Johnny Depp didn't also participate in abuse as well. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that Jonathan Majors didn't also participate in, things that, a professional psychiatrist or psychologist might say is narcissistic, might say is manipulative, might say is, toxic behavior. I'm not saying he didn't do any of those things, but that's not what was on trial. What was on trial is what transpired in the car that night. And that's the issue that I have, is that it turned into, well, he doesn't have the best character. Oh, he's crappy. He think, okay. Stevie Wonder said, I think We're talking about outliers here. People absolutely lie, but that's not common in domestic violence situations. I would have to disagree with you. I'm not saying that it doesn't. I'm not saying that it's always the case, but I would absolutely have to disagree with you in regards to domestic violence situations. I would say talk to police officers. That would be my thing, is talk to police officers.
I will add this real quick, just to
Go ahead.
that point. With myself, like I told you, like the girl had went in. They have it on record, when you call the police. So there's been a couple of times where I was instructed to, where it was kind of like I had to call the police. You know what I'm saying? Like to alleviate anything that was going to have me go to jail, like to where somebody not leaving the house, not just whatever. You gotta call. So like you said, definitely talk to the police. It's highly frowned on amongst our community and people, yeah, but in those type of situations, you got to protect yourself too, especially as a man. And if you're not being the aggressor, definitely call the police, because they're gonna have records. Oh, this man called before from this address about domestic situation. They're gonna take that into consideration. Well, they should. I'm not gonna say they will, because it can get tricky out here, but that's definitely how talking to the police is definitely a way to kind of be ahead of that, for sure.
No doubt. I agree wholeheartedly. I will say it in my previous, cases, well, not cases, because like police weren't called or anything like that.
No, he got you.
And I was being abused and assaulted, right? In my previous relationships. These are, again, years ago, long time ago. But I'm just saying, when that was happening, I never called the police, right? Again, because one, typically we're not taken seriously when men have called the police. And then the other thing is, we're not even taught to do that. You know what I'm saying? And that's the issue as well. And it looks like Stevie said, she's glad that you called the police. She said she does talk to victims. And then she also said, you got to keep yourself safe, and men get abused too, and unfortunately are often not believed. Exactly. I think that's right. That's right. Now, oh, it looks like, okay, Sam just jumped in as well and said, it's easy for us to say someone should know better, but let's be honest, on the wrong day, many of us could quickly be part of a domestic dispute. Absolutely.
Well said, because I wanted to say that too, because you never know until you're in it. Like we always are, oh, it didn't be me. Oh, I know. Like, you don't know until you in it, because human nature takes over. The pride, the love, whatever, that stuff is real, and it takes over, and it can influence you and have you doing things that you never thought you would do, going through things you never thought you would go through. So I'm pretty sure with your previous experiences, mine's, whoever else is out there, I'm pretty sure before that we was like, it ain't gonna be me.
I wish
it would be me. Hey, it could be you. It could easily be you. Like, you know what I'm saying? Things happen. We all human. Not that it's right, but it happens though. Human tendencies.
Exactly. And what I'll say is this. I know this isn't even through research. I'm just speaking pure anecdotal experience, right? I can say that all of my male friends that I know that have been in relationships have all been physically and verbally abused and assaulted. I know that for a fact, based on the conversations that we've had. So again, when we look at the numbers in regards to domestic violence and abuse, right? I'm not saying that men don't commit domestic violence. That's stupid, right? We know that it happens. My concern and my issue is that typically when we think of domestic violence, and again, the only reason why I know this stuff and the only reason why I go in depth of this is because, again, I got my master's degree in behavioral science and gender equity studies. So I went into details, into research, into following all this stuff up in regards to, here's the one thing I will say. I was the only man in my cohort. It was all women. Because typically gender equity is not something that's studied on the behalf of men. It's typically studied on behalf of women, but I specifically went into research to talk about men and Black men specifically. Okay. So what I'm saying is that a lot of our men are suffering, And for me, this case, right, it shows you that there are a lot of people who, even when you are trying to de-escalate the situation, even when you do take the route to run away, even when you do be the person who called the police, even when you do separate yourself and sleep in a different location, a different area, you are still held liable. You are still held accountable to what happened, even when you were not the aggressor. And it looks like someone else said, when I say Jonathan Major should have known better, I mean non-Black women are less familiar with the temperament of a Black man. That I agree with wholeheartedly, 100%. And I appreciate you for clarifying what you mean by he should have known better. Or that,
Facts.
I agree, because when you're dealing with a person who's not Black, who doesn't identify as African American, who doesn't come up with these traditions, they know, listen, we are, come on now, you know what I'm saying? Like we are very, you know what I'm saying? Oh, it looks like somebody said the Black Book Club one said, oh, we pretending that John was a victim. Oh, come on, don't say that. Don't say that. We're not we're not pretending. It's a fact. So what I will say is, dang, I lost my train of thought after getting that comment. You have to listen. If there's anybody in the comment section that actually want to join the live as well too, I just put your name in the chat, say I want to join, and I will DM you the link. I can't let you join the IG live, but I can DM you the link to the StreamYard, and it will put you on the IG live as well too. So if you want to join and talk about it verbally instead of typing, I'm more than welcome to let you. Me and Reezy can talk about it with y'all as well. We want to get y'all's opinion on the matter as well too. And sometimes typing ain't the best way. So Black Book Club 1, if you want to join, let me know. I will DM you the link, and we can have you join the live, and we can talk about it as well too. Or if you just feel like being in the comments, nothing wrong with that either. Just let me know. I'm very happy to let y'all in because I want to hear y'all's perspective, because I think conversations need to be had. But my point again is going back to the responsibility of the man to be careful of the company that you keep. This is why you can't just choose a partner based on how you feel. You can't just choose a partner based on how she looks. You can't just choose a partner on what you think you know what I'm saying, the image of a good partner is, but you have to base it on character. You have to keep people around you. You have the person who you're going to be with has to be somebody who's not going to jeopardize what you have. You know what I'm saying? Like that I don't know. Reezy, are you in a relationship right now?
No, sir. No, sir. No, sir.
Nah, don't get yourself in trouble now. Look, don't be on
No, I'm not in a relationship, but I
probably should have messaged you before I asked that question. I ain't trying to get you in trouble. You feel me? All right, let me stop. Let me get
Nah, man. No relationship this way for real.
Okay,
got some experiences though, but
no, for sure. I just meant like right now, because I'm again, as a single person as well, like I understand that there's certain things that are non-negotiable for me at this point of my life. Now, maybe in my 20s, I'm taking it all. I'm like, man, look, it is what it is. You people gonna have problems, right? Like, whatever, ain't nobody perfect. And I agree. There's still, to this day, there's nobody that's perfect. But some issues you need to have dealt with before you come to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I understand everybody has their own insecurities. Everybody got their flaws. Everybody has things that they need to work on. But certain things I'm just not going to accept. Public disrespect, I'm not accepting. I'm too old for that. I don't have the tolerance or the patience to deal with somebody that doesn't have the understanding that you cannot disrespect me in public.
And that comes with the growth, bro. Especially with having those previous experiences. I kind of felt like, kind of just staring off the Jonathan Major stuff, just talking about that in general. Like some of that stuff, maybe we have to go through. I kind of, even though I wish I never had those experiences, it's like I kind of needed them for my personal development and how I view things. So I kind of needed that reality check. Like, hey, it get nasty out here. So you got to pick and choose. You got to stand for yourself. And like you said, what you're not tolerating. Like there's certain things I know I'm not dealing with. Like, you know, there's certain like there's certain tendencies I see in women, or like I see in a partner, and I'm like, yeah, I'm not doing that because that
So
leads to
let me ask you this:
miserable lifestyle.
what are some of those tendencies? Because I think this is good conversation to have. And I'll say this: we have, for people who don't know, we have conversations like this all the time in barbershops. We have all the time. Oh, Stevie Wonder just said, the more you heal, the more aces you address, and the more you strengthen your emotional intelligence, the more healthier relationships we can have. You better talk.
Shout out Stevie.
You better talk, Stevie, for sure. My bad though. But anyway, what are some of the characteristics that you look at? Not even let's get off the negative, right? Let's because there's a bunch of she said snap. That's what's up. Look, let's get off the negative. What are some, because we could talk all day about the things we don't like, and I think that's a lot of good clickbait, right? Like a lot of people are right now online are talking about the things we hate about each other in this gender war. And my whole purpose of this is it's not to create a division, right? It's to make sure that, listen, we can understand each other a little bit more. And again, helping men understand how you're able to move properly in spaces to be able to still elevate yourself, right? So we could talk all day about the things we don't like, but I don't want this to be a negative thing. So what are some things that you do look for, as opposed to the things you don't? You know what I mean? Because we know it is common to find some negative things, right, in people. It's very easy. But what are the things that you do look for? Because not a lot of people know that. Not a lot of men know what to look for in a woman that of your type. Again, we're going by your type. This is Reezy's list. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And Sam said she agrees. She said it's not constructive. Those conversations are distractions. Absolutely. So I'm glad we were able to pivot, and I appreciate y'all for being patient until we pivoted that.
Yeah, I was gonna say that was definitely a great pivot. So for me, my biggest thing I look for in the individual or in my partner and the woman is understanding.
Mm,
Like, what's your level of understanding and you know being able to compromise? Because me, myself personally, I know the lengths I'll go to fix something, to hear what she's saying, and try to abide by that, and you know compromising and everything, and just to having a thought process to understand where she's coming from, even if I didn't get it the first time, even I may not get it the second time.
mhm.
But you know, certain things is like, okay, I get it. So it's like I know the mental gymnastics I'm doing to figure something out. It's like I may not be asking my lady to do the same thing, because to have that kind of mindset, it's got to be wired in you. That's not something you could just do. So like that's something that I've learned. You know, so the level I think of things at, it's like, okay, how much of that are you gonna do for me when I talk to you? Okay, I'll say it like this. I know we're not talking about what we don't like, but I'll say it like this. One thing for me that I'm traumatized about, like especially from the past relationships, is like the communication and me saying something to you, and then it's like we never had that conversation to begin with. So when something comes up again, you giving me that same energy, but it's like we just talked about this.
Mm.
So you know, so that I'll be saying that's delusion. I don't know what it is. I don't know if that's something that all women do. Like I don't know. Like that's just something
Can
that
you
I'm
give
like,
a little bit more of a specific example?
okay, like a specific example. Damn.
It doesn't have to be something that you went through, but just more of an example that we can
Okay,
kind of
like
grasp.
okay, so like okay, like I get quiet sometimes, right? You
Mhm.
know, I get super quiet. I can be in a room full of people and we all jumping and I'm just super quiet. That don't mean nothing wrong with me. It don't mean nothing. I'm sad, nothing. I'm just chilling.
Right.
So that's something you gotta pay attention and learn about the person you're dealing with. You know what I'm saying? You can learn that. But okay, so say if my lady is like, hey, you doing this and da da da, like what's wrong with you? This and that and the third. I'd be like, look, I'm chilling. But this is just a part of me. Sometimes I get quiet and I be to myself, I be chilling. I'll get out of it. You know, I got my own ways of getting out of it because I know how I could come across. So this is what I do. So now that you notice, if you see me do that again, you know what it is, you know what I'm on, like you get it. So then instead of that, if I get quiet again, you complaining again, you on me, like you know what I'm saying? It's an issue.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
we just talked about it. I just told you what the blueprint is, you know? So like
Yeah.
just stuff like that, or like, any situation where you're talking to your partner and it's like you Y'all talking about a situation, and it's just like y'all never had that conversation. So it's like all that energy, that whole previous argument was for nothing, and we back at square one. Like that sucks. So I look for understanding. So if I can get through a problem with you, or we could have a difficult conversation or a challenging conversation, and we could still be us after that. And it's not no salty, no petty stuff. Like you not got no stink attitude. We could just be cool because we just had a conversation. We can bounce back from that. I look for that. I look for if I tell you something, am I gonna see that in your actions? Because you're gonna see it in mine. So am I gonna see it in yours? So that's what I look for. A positive thing. I look for understanding and compromise. Because I think those are two most important things to maintaining anything long term.
No doubt. I love that. I'm gonna address a couple of comments. Sam, it looks like Sam said everybody swears they are great communicators. Just my observation. I agree. Everybody do be like, oh, I'm the perfect communicator until things go wrong. Then it's all of a sudden we lose our communication styles for sure.
I got something to say about that one too, but I think that's a negative thing.
Stevie Wonder said it's not delusional. I think he's talking to you, Reese. She says it's not delusional. If somebody is consistently violating a boundary, it's okay to cut them off. And if we keep running into the same kind of people, we got to heal that part in us that is attracted to that. Ooh, yo, Steve, I might have to get Stevie to come on.
Stevie needs to come on. Stevie preaching. Stevie preaching. Stevie preaching. She's totally right. She's totally right. I had to definitely take a step back and be like, bro, what type of women am I dealing with that I gotta keep dealing with this shit over and over again? So she's definitely right about that.
Yeah. I agree wholeheartedly. With Sam and Stevie, right? Sam was like, she said, a lot of people say they're great communicators. I agree. When I typically go on like first dates or even just chopping it up, Stevie says she's working out in her living room with the bot. All right, we gonna set up a time one of these days. You're gonna come on the show and we're gonna have some good dialogue, Stevie. You can't keep. That's how we met last time. She got into the live and was dropping some gems. So we definitely gonna get you on. She said next time. Okay, cool. But definitely, like as I'm going out talking to people, everyone's like, "Oh, I'm a great communication is big. Communication is big." But not everybody's a great communicator. You know what I mean? Like that's just what it is. Not everybody's good at articulating themselves and actually talking about the things that need to be talked about. It's easy when things are fun. It's easy when things are going well. But for me, I don't look at just how you are when things are great. I look at how you are when things are terrible, right? How do you behave? What is your behavior like when you're down, when your supervisor's treating you terrible, or when your job sucks, or when you don't have enough money for your bills, or how do you behave in uncomfortable situations and scenarios? To me, that is the way I gauge an individual, because let's be real, for the first few months, I'm seeing the best version of you, right? And this is what I tell people when I'm talking to them, and they be like, "Oh, so what do you think? What do you think? Oh, gee, what do you think?" I'll be telling them, I'm like, "Listen, bro, the version that you seeing right now is the best version you will ever see of this person ever again. So don't date on the potential of where they could be. Date them as if it only goes down from here. Can you still put up with it?" Right?
Ooh, that's an interesting way to think about it.
Can you still put up with it? Because a lot of people, you like, oh, if they just work on this and they work on that and they work on that, they're gonna be great. And it's like, no. Because this, that, and that is the beginning. This, that, and that is going to it doesn't go up, it goes down. Now the question is, can you tolerate this, that, and that plus da-da-da-da-da-da? You know what I'm saying? So that's just something that I just wanted to say with Sam, I agree wholeheartedly. And it looks like Sam also said maybe the better question is, how do you define communication, respect, etc.? Absolutely. And I will say this, what I've known in my years of talking to people, I ask very, very challenging questions early on. Look, I'm 33. I'm too old to be playing games. I'm too old to try to pretend. Look, if you're not for me early on, don't waste my time, my energy, my resources.
What are these questions?
You feel me? He said,
what are these questions?
Hold on, let me read another comment. Oh, my man Tay is in the building. He said it's easy to communicate when you're grilling someone else, but that person usually looks up when they back against the wall. Locks up when they backs against the wall. He said the defense mechanism of most human beings. Absolutely. Exactly. It's absolutely easy to communicate when things are well, you know, when you're back against the wall, but that's when it matters. But so for me, right, when I say I ask challenging questions, I ask, like, typically most times after I get to these kind of questions, they'll always be like, I've never been asked this before. Like I say things like, one, I'd be like, what are 3 non-negotiables? Three things that you absolutely have to and cannot, you have to have, it has to be like this or else, right? I also ask, what are 2 things that you did wrong in your previous relationship and 2 things that they did wrong? But here's the catch. Your 2 things cannot be from a victim perspective. So you can't say, I should have known that he was a cheater, or I should have known that he's a liar, or next time I'm gonna believe what I see as no. That's a victim perspective. I'm saying, what are 2 things that you did wrong where you were the aggressor? Maybe you didn't listen. Maybe you don't communicate well. Maybe you were over micromanaging him, and the things are, you know what I mean? All of these things I want to know, because for me, it lets me know whether or not you have self-awareness, right? Do you even think that you're capable of being in the wrong? Because a lot of times what I've noticed in previous relationships, and again, this is before I got healed, before I got 3 years of therapy, before I'm able to, you know what I'm saying, to really gauge what a great woman potentially is, right? Instead, I used to just be like, oh, if she looked good, it's great. Oh, dang, got a couple of different comments. Hold up. Okay. Looks like, okay. No chill say it sounds like the beginning of the end. Okay. Then it says, and you got to decide if you just want to be heard, or you genuinely want people to understand. Oh, that's a good one for sure. Sam said, oh, I remember 33. I feel you, Joe Spider. Who cares about favorite colors? Just kidding. It's the little things do count, but I agree. Absolutely. No, look, I get you. I just don't have the time no more. You know what I'm saying? Like, again, being 33, I'm a professional. Look, I'd be like, you know, like if we were in public, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I was wrong about something, how would you call me out on it? Like, you know what I mean? Like, can I take you, you know, I'd be like, do you have an OnlyFans? Like, would you ever do an OnlyFans? Like, these are questions that people don't typically ask. But you know what I'm saying? I'm not, everybody don't know where I work at or what I do for a living, but I got to bring you in front of some pretty solid people. You know what I'm saying? Like, and so they will judge me based on, you know what I'm saying, the way that I choose who I'm with as well too. That could potentially stop me from having opportunities and careers in the future as well. So again, that's just a small snippet of a couple of the questions that I ask, because I got a whole bunch. I go in depth for sure, because again, I'm trying to figure out whether or not it's even worth my time to continue pursuing, right? To be able to go in. It looks like
because you dated with a purpose now.
Oh, for sure. I'm dating with a purpose. I'm not playing.
Purpose for sure.
Let's be real. I'm dating to find a wife at this point. Now, I was like in early 20s. I was just dating just to be like, yo, I need me a girl. You know what I'm saying?
We just do what we do it. But now it's like, look, bro, like you said, we getting older, times are wasting. Man, we're like, what's good? I'm not about to keep going through this shit. Like, what's up, man? What we doing?
100%. What we doing? Like, I'd be like, look, how many kids do you want to have? You know what I'm saying? Like, do you want to have kids? Okay, cool. How much debt do you have? You know what I'm saying? Like, all of this stuff matters. Like, are you financially responsible? Do you have at least $1,000 in your bank account? I want to, you know what I'm saying? Like, you feel me? Can I take you to the Cheesecake Factory? You know what I'm saying?
Hey, that's real clutch though too. Because I mean, hey, what's wrong? What's really wrong with the Cheesecake Factory, man? I just recently started going to the Cheesecake Factory, and it's cool. They got a lot of items.
Hey,
you can go in there and do it up real quick.
That's an easy filter. Look, I'll be like, look, they be like, you want to meet somewhere? I'll be like, Cheesecake Factory. Let me see what you say. If you say no, you ain't my type. You know what I'm saying? Because my type, we gonna make do what we had. Let's be real. Like, I'm not the same. I came from a different era. You know what I'm saying? Not even different era. I came from nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's be real. Now I have the blessing to be able to pick where I want to eat. You know what I'm saying? And what I want to eat. But there was a time where I grew up eating bologna sandwiches. You know what I'm saying? Like hot dogs, ramen noodles. You feel me? Like, so I was somebody tell me like the cheesecake. Like, I grew up on free lunch my entire life. I don't know what it's like. I didn't know what it was like to have a lunch packed for me until I got to college and I had a girl do it for me. I didn't know that. what that feeling was. It was always free lunch. So when somebody say, oh, I can't eat at the Cheesecake Factory because it's a chain restaurant, have you never had McDonald's? Have you never had Jack in the Box? Have you never had all these? Mind you, I haven't had McDonald's in over 15 years. I had McDonald's since 2007. You feel me? I ain't had Burger King since like 2008. You feel me? Like, I don't even eat at those places, but at the same time, it's about the connection. I could meet somebody walking around and just going to the park and still having a good time. But listen, hold on, let me read some more comments. It says that if people are showing up authentically, then these kind of things will be a part of a natural progression of the conversation. Absolutely. That's from Sam. And then Stevie Wonder said, dating is stressful. Got me out here smoking imaginary cigarettes. Joy.
Hey, shout out to everybody. I can't see the comments on the
Yeah, you can't see the comments because I know we on StreamYard, but
yeah,
StreamYard literally just allowed us to start using Instagram Live. So that's why it's attached to Instagram Live now. So you can't see him, but I can. It says, oh, okay. It looks like it says real conversations from Lady Yanni. Thank you. I appreciate it. And then also Tay said, Joe Spider meets someone and she wants to get her body done. Is that a yes or a no for you? Look, that's a whole different conversation, but I'm gonna tell you now, the answer is no. Love the way God made you.
Real quick, like I was saying, shout out to them because it's a lot of other topics we can get into, and I appreciate that from the people, you know what I'm saying, and from you. But yeah, it's a lot of topics I'll be wanting to divvy into, man. So I'm like,
hey, Reezy, I'm gonna have you back on another time for sure. We're gonna do this
definitely anytime, bro.
You got some good stuff. And then also it says, Stevie Wonder said, don't listen to the internet. People love the Cheesecake Factory. And Lady Yanni said, Cheesecake Factory is bussing. Thank you.
Hey, I went on a Thursday with my moms and the family. That mug was packed. So I know niggas love Cheesecake Factory.
They love the Cheesecake Factory, bro. But again, you know, we get to this point where we feel like, you know what I'm saying, we're too good. And again, my thing is, bro, I can go anywhere and have a good time because it's about the company I'm with. You know what I'm saying? It's about the people that I'm with. Let's be real. Like, I done been places, some random places. I just be like, cool. It was a day. A girl says she likes to do it. I'm like, shoot, I'll try it. Whether it's mini golf or whether it's just going for drinks, it doesn't matter. Or whether it's going for food or whether it's just going for a walk and going for coffee. I don't even drink coffee. I stopped drinking coffee damn near 20 years ago. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't drink coffee, but I can go and get me a hot chocolate. You feel me? Or I can go get me some tea. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter where we go. I'm trying to get to know you. And I think of people that have this expectation or whatever, it's a great filter for me to say, listen, you're not dating with a purpose in that, or maybe I'm not even gonna say that because I don't want to discredit anybody. What I would say is what you're dating for is different than what I'm dating for. So you know what I mean? Our expectations are different. So I kindly will, you know, keep it pushing. So I know we are at about an hour and 15 minutes right now. So I'm going to get ready to wrap it up a little bit. But this has been good. Tay said, let me say, bro, that was bad in Vegas, especially when you battled against those say what expensive. My hard-earned dollars will not be spent on the first date. Oh man, yeah, out of state. Yeah. So Tay used to live in Vegas, and I know he was going through it because
that's Tay. You know Tay?
Tay, yeah, bro. Tay
my boy Tay, what's good?
Tay, yeah. I
my message to you, bro, and all your success, your kids.
Well, he's not from Chico, but
yeah, you know.
Yeah, but that's the homie for sure.
Yeah.
And then let's see, we got it looks like someone else said. Most of these folks out here aren't a vibe for real, and that's the issue. Lady Yanni, you talking heavy. Stevie Wonder said, "Great talk." Yeah, man. I'm gonna wrap this up a little bit because, like I said, it's been a little bit. I typically try to keep these around an hour and 15 at the most. But I just wanted to say again, going back to the Jonathan Majors thing, you have to be careful with the company that you keep, and the person who you're closest to, meaning the person you decide to be in a relationship with, that has to be the person who understands and values who you are, the potential that you have, what you're doing, and they are on with the program. Absolutely critical. And if they're not, you have to be willing to walk away. And I don't mean walk away in regards to just this scenario. I mean, you have to be willing to walk away from that from the beginning. This is why I asked the tough questions early, because I have to say, listen, if you're not that person, no problem. You can still be great. We can still be friends. We could talk and we can have a good time. But I'm not just going to put the relationship a relationship with you is no longer the end goal. You know what I'm saying? In regards to an intimate relationship, it's more of like we can have a, you know what I'm saying, an associateship. I don't want to say friendship because we're not really finna be friends, but an associateship, a partnership in that sense. But you have to be very, very careful of the company that you keep, because if you pick the wrong people, not even just talking about intimate relationships, but I'm talking about the friends that you keep. I promise you, they will. There's this quote that says, if you show me 9 people and you will be the 10th. If you hang around with 9 people, you will be the 10th. No matter what group you hang around with a bunch of broke people, you're gonna be broke. You hang around with a bunch of rich people, you're gonna be rich. You hang around with a bunch of dumb people, you're gonna be dumb. It's just the way that it goes. Birds of a feather flock together. So you have to be careful. And of course, that is 100% true in regards to the partner that you select to be with you for eternity, right? Or till death do us part. Please don't get divorced, but till death do us part. You feel me? That's the person that you're supposed to be with. So you have to choose wisely. Reezy, you got any last words you want to leave the people? Where can they follow you at on social media? Talk to you, tell them about your social media.
I noticed I ain't put my thing in there. You can follow me on Instagram at Reezy Inc. You know what I'm saying? Just Reezy, ReezyInc. I myself got a podcast. It's called the Off the Heme Pod. We just did our 2nd episode on this past Saturday. I'm working on building that platform up. I have previous platforms, but you know those things come to an end. So we're working on getting it up. Definitely, we'll be talking to you, Spider, about this software and everything, so we can get people on that ain't in town. So that's really cool. But yeah, that's where you can follow me at. I'm pretty much my name on all handles. You know what I'm saying? Follow up, get at me. When we go live, man, hop on, and I'll definitely be glad to hop back on here and rock with you for sure.
No
Anytime.
doubt, man. I appreciate you, bro. I appreciate you tapping in.
Appreciate you having me, bro, for sure.
You said that that's correct. So I appreciate y'all for joining. Let me know what y'all think about the whole IG live thing. I'm glad the StreamYard now allows us to do Instagram live, so I don't have to have different cameras set up and everything like that. It's literally just brand new. It started this week because I go live every week. So this is the first time that they have it. So I'm really looking forward to doing it more. Hopefully they'll make it easier to where we can interact in the comments and I can post your comments on the live. But this has been great. Let me know your experience. And again, if you have a subject that you want to talk about with me on my live, I'm more than welcome. I go live every single Wednesday. It doesn't matter the situations and the circumstances. Well, I'm not gonna say I'll go live. I'm not gonna say that. I want to say I post every Wednesday. I sometimes I have to record it on a Tuesday or a Thursday, depending on my schedule or my guest schedule, but it will be presented as live on YouTube Live, on X, on Facebook Live, as well too. And now when I do go live, it'll be on Twitter Live. So please feel free to reach out and do me a favor and follow the Wise Word Wednesday YouTube channel. Follow the Wise Word Wednesday YouTube channel.
Like, comment, subscribe.
In the bio, hit that subscription button, yo. Please do that because I'm trying to bring y'all great content every week. I know y'all love the Wise Word Wednesdays, the short version that we're doing. So now we're just doing an extended version, extended conversations. I want to interview people from different backgrounds. I've had people that do motivational speaking, people that work in education, people that do acting. I've got a lot of different people that I plan on having in 2024. I've had people that are entrepreneurs that have their own board games, that have businesses. So I want to interview a lot of people in different sectors. I want to interview therapists. I want to interview, you know what I'm saying? Like I had one person who they was supposed to be a guest of mine. There was a adult film star. They was supposed to be my guest, but then some stuff didn't work out. But she's a person I've known for years, right? And they moved to Vegas, became an adult star, and I've seen like some of their stuff on social media go viral. So I want to see anybody and everybody, because the point is to give you all perspective of what's behind the camera, what people don't see. A lot of people will put their money up. A lot of people will put their traveling up. A lot of people will put all these great lavish things up, but they don't see all the work that it takes to get to that particular career field. So we want to talk about that. Of course, we want to talk about relationships because we know that's always a hot topic, but we just want to talk about ways that you can be successful here on the Wise Word Wednesday show. So make sure that y'all subscribe to the Wise Word Wednesday YouTube channel. We will be promoting more stuff. I appreciate y'all. FYB presents Wise Word Wednesdays. I'm going to leave y'all with a We Fresh, and I love you. Y'all be safe.